right, welcome to the town board meeting, and ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight, we do have two public hearings. The first is on the annual MS4 report. I'll ask the clerk to read that notice first.
Please take notice that the town board of the town of Warwick will hold a public hearing regarding the 2022-2023 MS4 annual report. Said hearing to be held on Thursday, October 26, 2023 at 7:30 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard at the town of Warwick Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway. All interested persons will be given the opportunity to be heard.
Thank you. So for the public's information that doesn't know what an MS4 is, it's a designation by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation for areas that they consider to be critical for runoff. And in our area, it is the area surrounding Greenwood Lake. And as a requirement of the law, we are required annually to document our efforts to ensure that we are doing what we need to do to prevent runoff into Greenwood Lake, to preserve the health of the lake. There's a series of different things. There's education, documentation requirements. There are reviews of our septic pump out law that we have. There is a review of what efforts we take in building and planning to ensure that runoff is contained on properties and not discharged. We also have storm basins, and we have to make sure that those are operating properly. So that is all documented. That report is online, and that's the public hearing, which is required by the law for us to file this report. So with that, I will open it to the public. If anyone has a comment on the MS4 issue. Seeing none, any comments from the board? Then I would ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we have another hearing tonight, and this is a hearing on exceeding the 2% property tax cap. So I'll ask the clerk to call that roll.
Please take notice that the town board of the town of Warwick will hold a public hearing to consider introductory local law number 7 of 2023 entitled Exceed the 2% Property Tax Cap. Said public hearing to be held on Thursday, October 26, 2023 at 7:30 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard at the Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York. All interested persons will be given the opportunity to be heard.
Okay, so before I open it up for comment, this is a requirement since the state imposed the 2% property tax cap, which was an effort to control property taxes, so well-intentioned. I think in my 21 years, we've only exceeded it once, but the issue is if you don't pass the local law to exceed it, and for some reason you have to, when you exceed it, if you haven't had the law, they sequester anything over 2%, which is never a good scenario. So as a precaution, we will have this hearing tonight, hopefully pass this local law. It's not our intention to exceed it. Our preliminary budget will be available for public view starting next Wednesday, and there'll be a hearing on that budget to be held on November 9th in this room. So I will open it now for anyone that has comments they'd like to make. Seeing none, any more comments from the board? Anything? Okay, then I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, let us move into the regular, no, we do have one discussion item. That is the Airbnb issue on 105 DK Road. So at our last meeting, so the process with this is when we issue a notice of revocation, under the law, the owner has an opportunity to request a hearing. The owners did request a hearing. It was postponed due to the religious holiday they observed. We did have them here at the last meeting, and they expressed their opinions on how they were addressing the issues they were cited for. I did not get a chance today for the board, and since we have one of our building inspectors out on sick leave, to go see whether the dumpster was removed from the front lawn. So we will have to verify that next week. We don't act on the revocation this evening. We have a resolution at the following meeting. So there were several violations. That was the dumpster was a big one. The number of people was another one. They testified that they are working to correct that, et cetera. So I don't think the board can really, you can weigh in on your thoughts on what you heard, but we need to verify that they're complying with removing the dumpster, and that they in fact have verified that what they testified to, they have in fact installed, which is cameras and a noise, some sort of noise
detection,
apparatus.
like a noise detection.
Right.
They had to let
So
that
I will
know.
try to do that and get that to you for the next meeting,
Okay,
all right?
sounds good.
And I have had correspondence with one of the residents in the areas who's concerned and has been sort of keeping an eye on the facility. So I'm sure that dialogue will continue as well. Any other questions on that? All right, so I'll have something for you on that next meeting. So let's call the regular meeting to order and ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Supervisor Sweeten?
Here.
Councilman Gerstner?
Here.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Here.
Councilman Cole?
Here.
Councilman Schuback?
Here.
DPW Commissioner Astorino?
Here.
Police Chief Rader?
Thank you. May I have a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes, and the public hearing minutes, and the revocation appeal hearings of October 12th?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Correspondence is summarized on pages 1 and 2. I don't really have any discussion of that. I would like to recognize tonight that we do have one of our county legislators, Barry Cheney, here, who's also the deputy mayor in our beautiful village of Warwick. So welcome, Barry. Do you have any good news that you want to share?
I get, just quickly, the county is involved right now in reviewing the county executive's budget. It's gone through all the committees. There have to date been no changes suggested to it. The budget itself carries with it no increase in the tax rate, so that's a good thing. We expect that sometime during November we'll be approving it. It will then go to the county executive. If we make any changes, that he would have the ability to veto, and then finally, final approval would be in December. So it's basically what's happening at the county.
Good. Great deal. And I want to just for the board to remind them and the public too that our bike hike trail project, we did get 3 bids coming in. They're being vetted now, but one is within the parameters we were hoping for and within the engineer's estimate. And it was Barry who approached us to advocate for some additional county funding that it would allow this project to move forward. And so it looks like it will move forward and will be built this winter. So that's a nice addition. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you, Barry.
Appreciate it. Okay, any other boards, reports? I don't see any other ones, so let's move on to reports and hear from Councilman D'Angelo.
Okay, good evening. For the post report. Oh, sorry. Post report for the town. We have in Greenwood Lake, we had 163 calls. Town outside the village, 557. Pine Island, 294. Village of Warwick, 492. Greenwood Lake Ambulance Corps, 51. For a total for the month, it's 1,512 calls. Chief, do you have anything you want to add? Okay, thank you. Okay, for the, I'm sorry. For the Warwick Humane Society, Susan Barron, the president, asked me to relate a couple of things to you. They have completed a much-needed side yard kennel area remake between the kennels and the outside exercise runs with a large donation of pea gravel and topsoil from material processors and beautiful sod from the Buck Sod Farm. The contributions have given them a second play yard for the dogs and a much safer area outside the kennels for the staff. And I want to say a huge thank you to the material processors and the DeBuck family. There is an animal care and control position open at the shelter. You must be 21 years old or older with a clean driver's license and background and be able to lift 50 pounds, handle fractious animals, work weekends, and be on call 2 nights a week for animal emergencies. You must have passion and compassion for people and animals. Working interview is required to better understand the job and its requirements. You can call them at 845-986-2473. They're hiring immediately. Note to the public, they want to mention that as the weather is changing, New York State law requires pets left outside for any length of time must have proper available shelter and clean unfrozen water at all times. Better yet, do not leave your pets outside in freezing temperatures or in inclement weather. They currently have for adoption, they're caring for 132 animals, including 7 dogs. Half that number are purebreds, 60 adult cats, 44 kittens, 6 rabbits, and 2 guinea pigs. They're having an upcoming fundraiser. It's a Halloween costume event for dogs and their people at Dubco Acres at 65 Four Corners Road on Sunday, October 29th from 2 to 5 p.m. to benefit the Warwick Valley Humane Society. It's $5 costume contest entry fee. And that's it. That's all I have.
All right, great, thank you. Councilman Cole.
No report.
Councilman Gershner.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. DPW has been staying busy as always, doing culvert pipes, replacing culvert pipes on Brilla Road, 13 Conklin Road, and 15 Conklin Road. Doing ditch work on the roadsides on Continental Road, cleaning up some storm damage on Overhill Lane. They're mowing town-wide on the roadsides, filling the potholes, and vehicle maintenance, emergency repairs, and road signs as needed, hauling with stockpile material, and they had a water main break on Park Drive. Commissioner, anything else? All right, thank you. Thank the troops for me. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Schubach.
Nothing to report.
All right, town clerk's report.
Okay, we have a bid proposal for the equipment, supplies, and installation of a control panel and a cellular dialer to operate an alarm for Warwick Water System Well Number 11. The first is from TAM Enterprises for $5,907, and the second was from Ray Nebeker Electric LLC for $19,229.10. We also have a bid proposal for construction of the bike and pedestrian trail. The first is from ATEC Concrete Company for $1,484,295. The second was from Nico Development for $2,704,260. And the last one is Rutledge Excavating Inc. for $1,554,744.28. I also would like to remind everybody that early voting begins this Saturday, the 28th, and will run all the way through Sunday, November 5th. You'll have to check our website, or the Board of Elections will have it posted here in the lobby on the townofwarwick.org website, because the times change every day. One day's 9 in the morning, one day might start at noon, so check before you head out. And then the actual election day is November 7th from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Just also for early voting, if you live in the town of Warwick and you usually vote at the firehouse, you can vote at the senior center at Warwick. Anybody in Warwick can vote during early voting at the senior center. On the actual election day, you have to go to your polling place, and that will be open from 6 to 9. And also, I just wanted to remind everybody that the mobile DMV unit will be here at the town hall on November 1st, 10 to 12. They close for lunch, and then they'll pick up again from 1 to 3:30. And the following transactions they will be doing are all licensing transactions, including real and enhanced, all registration and enforcement transactions. So you can take advantage of that.
Okay.
And just a comment on the clerk's report, go to orangecounty.gov.com. There are 8 early voting sites, so if you happen to be up in Middletown or in Goshen, any resident can vote any of the early voting sites on the days. The same times will be listed for all the sites, but it's on the orangecounty.gov.com website. So if you happen to be traveling around, you can stop by and vote if you're in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Supervisor's report. So again, we are in the middle of the budget. Preliminary budget will be posted and available in the clerk's office on 11/1, which is next Wednesday, I believe, for evaluation. There will be a budget hearing in this room on 11/9, and then it must be adopted by 11/16. So our regular meetings, because of Thanksgiving, are moved up. So our next meeting will be 11/2 and 11/16. So be aware of that. If you have any questions on the budget, you can certainly ask me and anytime here at Town Hall or come to the budget hearing. There is a Halloween parade in the village of Warwick on the 31st, and I believe, Barry, that's at High Street lineup, right? Is that right? And it's at 5 p.m. kickoff, going down to Railroad Avenue. And then there is a parade, I believe, Kevin, in Florida.
There is one on Halloween Day they do, I believe it's on,
In Florida as well, so,
but those Florida does have it. They end up at the firehouse.
right. And so it's a good time to be had by all, so come out for that. The Warwick Valley Rotary is holding a coat drive from October 20th to November 20th. There is a box here in the lobby, so if you have a coat that's in good shape and you'd like to donate it, please do. The clerk covered election, so I just encourage people to come out and vote. There are county judge elections and a Supreme Court election for a judge, and then also local candidates. And the Repair Cafe is once again going to happen on November 18th in the Senior Center behind us from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's where you can bring things that need a little bit of loving care, and they will be repaired. And they only charge you for parts if they need them. They don't charge you for the service. So it's a great way to reuse things and not have it all end up in the landfill. Journal entries were made with the controller this week for the board's information, and I did verify each of those, so that is good. And my column is in the Dispatch and partially in the Advertiser, depending on the timeliness of it. That's the end of my report. So I would offer privilege of the floor to anybody on an agenda item. If you have a question on the agenda. Seeing none, let's move into motions, and I would make a motion to adopt the resolution to continue the short-term rental permit for 20 Miller Lane with a $500 fine for the first offense.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I would also make a motion to adopt the resolution to continue the short-term rental permit for 20 Deer Pond with a $500 fine for the first offense.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. And then, in both of these cases, we reiterated to the owners that the board really will have no tolerance for a second violation. And so we encourage them to adhere to the law, be good neighbors, and manage their short-term rentals. All right? I now have a motion to adopt a local law.
So moved.
Motion to adopt the resolution to adopt local law number 7 of 2023 to exceed the 2% property tax cap. Whereas a local law to override the tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law, Section 3-C, was introduced on October 12, 2023, and whereas a public hearing was held as required by law on October 26, 2023, to consider the adoption of said local law, and whereas the town board has considered all comments received and has determined that the adoption of said local law is in the public's interest, now therefore be resolved that the said local law to override the limit of the amount of real property taxes may be levied by the town of Warwick, county of Orange, state of New York, pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 3-C, is hereby adopted, and same shall go into effect as provided by law.
Have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I make a motion to adopt the resolution to schedule a public hearing to consider introductory local law number 8 of 2023 entitled Petition for an Amendment to Chapter 164 of the zoning law and for an amendment to the Town of Warwick zoning map pursuant to Section 16460 of the Code of the Town of Warwick to create a Sanfordville Road Senior Housing District, and other minor modifications. Said hearing to be held on Thursday, November 16, 2023, at 7:15 p.m. at the Town Hall, Kings Highway, New York, Warwick, New York, or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard.
Second.
So for discussion purposes, this is a 10-day public notice. That's why it has to be set tonight for the 16th. So there's ample time to get that notice out. The town board received under our zoning code a petition to bring down what's called the senior housing floating zone on a parcel of property on Sanfordville Road. The code requires us to refer that for a recommendation to the town planning board. That was done, and we cannot act until we get that recommendation to advise us after they review conceptual plans and the impacts as to whether that makes sense to happen. So that hearing will happen on the 16th. Hopefully we will have planning board input by that point. If we don't, we'll continue the hearing. This, under our code, this will be the first time a senior housing floating zone application has been made to the town. It's been in our zoning since 2002. And our zoning and comprehensive plan actually call for us to provide more affordable senior housing. So we're kind of interested in this application. It maybe makes sense for the parcel as opposed to some of the other uses that would be permitted there. So we're anxious to see what the planning board feels is the viability of the project. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion to accept the resignation.
Motion to adopt a resolution accepting the resignation of part-time police officer Joseph Gemelardo effective November 5th, 2023.
Second.
He's taking a full-time position somewhere, so we wish him well.
Wish him
All
well,
in
yes.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I make a motion to adopt a resolution to appoint Bob McGrath to the Community Preservation Advisory Board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I make the following motion to adopt a resolution whereas the town of Warwick, County of Orange, believes that the changing climate poses an increasing threat to our local environment, and whereas the town of Warwick, while having adopted many energy-saving projects, commits to lessen our energy use and reduce our carbon footprint. It is hereby resolved that the town of Warwick, in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, adopts the New York State Climate Smart Communities Pledge, which comprises the following 10 elements. 1, build a climate smart community. 2, inventory emissions, set goals and plans for climate action. 3, decrease energy use. 4, shift to clean renewable energy. 5, use climate smart materials management. 6, implement climate smart land use. 7, enhance community resilience to climate change. 8, support a green innovation economy. 9, inform and inspire the public. And 10, engage in an evolving process of climate actions. And be it further resolved, the town board appoint a climate smart community advisory committee to serve at the pleasure of the board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I make a motion to adopt the resolution appointing Orion Russell Blake as chairman, Brendan Wegner and Peter Lyons Hall as members of the Climate Smart Community Advisory Board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations on it.
Congratulations. Good luck.
May I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt the resolution to adopt the 2022-2023 MS4 Annual Report.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on an appointment.
Motion to adopt the resolution to appoint Thomas Hoffman as a full-time Department of Public Works laborer, grade 4, step 1, at a pay rate of $22.41 per hour as per the CSEA contract effective November 6, 2023.
Second.
For the
Wish him
board's
well.
information, Councilman Gershner, myself, and Commissioner Astorino interviewed several candidates. This gentleman was the best. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I make a motion to adopt a resolution to impose a curfew in the town of Warwick against congregating and loitering by those under 18 years of age or younger to begin at 8 p.m. on Monday, October 30th, 2023, to 6 a.m. on Tuesday, October 31st, 2023, and from 8 p.m. Tuesday, October 31st, 2023, to 6 a.m. Wednesday, November 1st, 2023.
Second.
Discussion, we've done this for many years. You know, we don't sweep people off the streets at 8, but it does help keep things from getting out of control. And police, I'm sure, are happy about that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Motion to schedule a public hearing.
Motion to adopt a resolution to schedule a public hearing to consider the 2024 preliminary budget. Said public hearing to be held at Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Town of Warwick, on Thursday, November 9th, 2023, at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. I make a motion to adopt the resolution to schedule a public hearing on the assessment roll for the purpose of raising funds for the operation and maintenance of the special districts of the town, including Wickham Village, Uric Heights, Belleville Park, Pine Island, Westside Green, Wood Lake, WVOTCP, and Hillside Water Districts, the Warwick Sewer District Number 1, the Garbage District, the Pine Island Lighting District, the Kings Estates Lighting Districts, the WVOTCP Lighting District, the Warwick Ambulance District Number 1, the Warwick Ambulance District Number 2, the Warwick Ambulance District Number 3, and the Warwick Ambulance District Number 4, the Kings Estates Park District, the Warwick Fairgrounds Sewer District Number 2, and the Warwick Fairgrounds Water District. Said public hearing to be held at the Town Hall on 132 Kings Highway, Town of Warwick, on Thursday, November 9th, 2023, at 7 p.m. or is there soon thereafter, as a matter may be heard.
Second.
Any discussion? The reason you do two separate hearings is special districts are created to only benefit those people that get the services from those districts. So we do that as a separate hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on a refund?
Motion to adopt a resolution to refund $550 back to Cassandra Havazak and Salomon Rosenberg for a withdrawn application to renew a short-term rental as per recommendation letter from the building inspector dated October 17th, 2023.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on a special event?
Motion to adopt a resolution granting permission for Hudson Sports Complex to host the special event Fox Wine, Cheese, and Chocolate Festival on November 11th, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Dome, located at 122 State School Road. Certificate of liability is on file in the clerk's office.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion to replace town hall lighting.
Motion to adopt a resolution to accept a proposal to replace the lighting at the town hall from Ultratech Lighting in the amount not to exceed $1,498.
Second.
This is to do with the outside parking area. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on a request.
Motion to adopt a resolution granting permission to Evelyn Acevino to serve alcohol at the Wickham Woodland Manor on November 23rd, 2023. Certificate of liability and liquor liability insurance is on file in the clerk's office.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on a request.
Motion to adopt a resolution granting permission to Warwick Institute of Culture and Greenwood Lake Theater Company to serve alcohol at the Mountain Lake Park for performances on November 4th, 5th, 11th, and 12th, 2023. Certificate of liability and liquor liability insurance is on file in the clerk's office.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I make a motion to adopt the resolution to accept the proposal for stage lighting at the Mountain Lake Park from Ultratech Lighting in amount not to exceed $2,645 to be paid from the Parkland Fund account.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on an appointment.
Motion to adopt a resolution to appoint Mark Bellatone as a part-time DPW seasonal laborer at a rate of pay of $15.50 per hour, effective November 6th, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion?
Welcome him aboard.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on authorization.
Motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with Nearmap Imaging for software in amount not to exceed $2,500.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on an appointment.
Motion to adopt a resolution to appoint Frank Esposito as a part-time DPW seasonal laborer, a rate of pay of $15.50 per hour, effective November 6th, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes,
All in
welcome him.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on a purchase.
Motion to adopt a resolution to purchase parts for a Caterpillar track loader from Industrial Hydraulics and Machine, Inc., in amount not to exceed $8,000.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Motion on an appointment.
Motion to adopt a resolution to appoint Christopher J. DeMarco as a full-time temporary dispatcher for 90 days at a pay rate of $19 effective immediately.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May I have a motion to pay the duly audited bills?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So at this time of the meeting where we can entertain any question by anyone that has a question. Seeing none, any last comments from the board?
Everyone have a nice Halloween. Be
Have
safe.
a nice and safe Halloween. And now I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Everyone have a great night.
Thank you all.